learning how to say no. I mean, that was like one of the things that I've been working on this year, pretty much. But even more strongly these past 2 months, because part of saying, learning how to say no, I think it really comes down to really knowing yourself too. This goes back to knowing who you are. Knowing about yourself, knowing what you can tolerate and not. Your standards, they're all made up out of your values, and knowing your belief system and knowing what you're gonna stand for. And then once you know those things, you can easily say no to things, because if that certain decision or that route, that option is gonna align with your values and who you are, and if it's gonna move you forward towards your target or not. But if you don't know yourself, you don't know where you're going, it's very hard to say no, and it can get very confusing to say no, because you don't know where you're going. You don't know what you want out of life. You don't know what you're trying to get better at and what you're trying to avoid. You don't know any of these things, so it's very hard and confusing at times to say no. But and also, it comes down to also, as we said previously at the beginning, you have to love yourself. You have to love who you are, and have that self-respect as well for yourself, to say no to certain things that are going to cause you to divert from your target. So definitely there's that. And of course, at some point, it may still even be hard to say no at times, because you want to avoid confrontation, you want to avoid making the other person upset or something, and so you just hold back your no and you just say yes, and you're very passive and stuff like that. And believe me, that is the worst decision you can ever make. I've experienced that firsthand for many years, where I wish that I would have just said no, and who knows what would have happened if I would have said no. I would have probably been in a different place, but who cares? That's in the past. Working on it, I'm working on it now, and I can already see the difference that it makes once you. I mean, it's hard. I mean, even for me, it's still very hard to say no at times. But I actually feel better once I say no to something. If it's not gonna actually help out, it's not gonna move me forward or something along those lines. It's something that I have to do, and I feel better, because I feel like I respected myself, and I kept a certain standard, and I stood up for what I believe, and that's very important as well. So yes, like you're saying, make sure that's controlled no, and that you know when to say no and cut it off, and when to say yes and approve. And you got to control yourself and know exactly like where to do it. But yeah, I think the best thing you can do is really know yourself.